All right, we'll call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order here at 10 o'clock. All those who are able, rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we have any public for comment for items that are not appearing on today's agenda? All right, seeing none, do the commissioners have any additions to today's agenda?
I'm aware.
All right, move on to the meeting minutes. If everybody thinks they're okay, we'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting held April 16th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the meeting held on April 16th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have two proclamations this morning. Our first one is proclamation number 21, proclaiming April 28th through May 4th as Conservation District Week here in Center County, and we are partway through the week, and it looks like Jim will kick us off, but I hear you have quite the strong crew here.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. We come to you this morning as we celebrate Conservation District Week. Each county in Pennsylvania has a conservation district except Philadelphia. Here in Center County, the Conservation District was formed by the county commissioners in 1954, so we're celebrating our 70th year this year. The district was formed at the request of local farmers and other interested citizens who were concerned about the conservation of soil and water resources in the county. The Conservation District is made up of a 7-member board of directors appointed by the county commissioners. Commissioner Dersham also serves on our Conservation District board. The Conservation District is also a county department. We have 9 full-time and 2 part-time employees who carry out the day-to-day activities of the Conservation District and fulfill the requirements of our delegated programs. Although our roots are in agriculture, the Conservation District has evolved over the years and now implements many programs, including those dealing with nutrient and manure management, grant administration, soil erosion and sediment control on urban lands, stream encroachment permitting, dirt and gravel road maintenance, education, and watershed protection. We're very fortunate here in Center County to have an energetic and engaged Conservation District Board of Directors and also a team of knowledgeable and dedicated employees. I'd like to introduce the folks that are with me today. From the Conservation District staff, Julie Smith is here, who is our fiscal technician. Devin McFeeters is one of our agricultural technicians, and Seth Nairhood is one of our resource conservation coordinators. Also with us today is the chairman of our board of directors, Dr. Robert Shannon. I'd like to invite him up to say a few words too.
Welcome, Robert.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence the Conservation District Week was set for late April and early May when life is finally springing forth from a brown winter, sometimes bleak landscape. What better time to celebrate the good work that our Conservation District staff, our small but mighty staff, do to promote soil and water conservation across Center County's fertile farmland and to help landowners protect our abundant streams and improve soil and water quality. On behalf of the Conservation District Board of Directors, I'd like to express our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to the county commissioners for your unwavering support, not just during Conservation District Week, but throughout the year. Thank you for recognizing the importance of conservation and for supporting initiatives that protect our land, our water, and our wildlife. Your dedication inspires us all to be better stewards of Center County and our planet. So thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Would anybody else like to speak? Well, I'm sure Commissioner Dersham probably has a couple of words. Do you want to go first today?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Rob and Jim for coming in, but particularly Rob because he brings a level of expertise and experience that very few boards have, and his dedication to the Conservation District and to Center County is nothing shy of amazing. He goes to a lot of meetings, goes to a lot of regional conferences, does a lot of outreach on behalf of our Conservation District Board that is noteworthy. And how long have you been the chair now, I'm not going to hold you to an
A
exact
decade
time.
or so.
Yeah,
All right.
he's been just phenomenal in that role, and he's brought just so much expertise that want to thank him for his service and everybody on the board. We have a broad array of folks that from across the region, and it's been a pleasure to serve with them. But also at every conservation district board meeting, we have the opportunity to get updates from the staff, and it's really good to know exactly what programs are important going on, the soil conservation efforts that are going on, the dirt and gravel road programs that take care of a lot of the rural transportation network. That's all part of what the Conservation District Board does. But in the last few years, they've really taken on some major projects with trying to bring a lot of the farming community up to modern standards as far as erosion and manure management, and that's been huge for our community and our area, and they've been very successful in bringing a lot of those programs to fruition. So that's no small amount of responsibility.
Yes.
From an economic standpoint, there's some huge number of grants in there that they're responsible for, and Julie has to shepherd those projects through. So just want to say thank you to everybody here for what you do, and give our best to the rest of the staff on this recognition week.
Great. Commissioner Concepcion, any comment?
Yeah, thanks for coming today and giving us a chance to recognize the work you do. Thank you to all the board members who are serving on the board. I think, one of the things the Conservation District has helped emphasize is not only our local watersheds, but the role that we have as being part of the Chesapeake Bay watershed, and the actions we do here have a positive or negative impact all the way as far as the Chesapeake Bay, and we can see the results of that. So yeah, thank you for all the work you do. I know it's across such a variety of different areas within our farming communities and in terms of protecting our local watersheds. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for conserving our soil. I know that Jim could probably give us an exact number, but I think it takes centuries to rebuild soil once it disappears. And Commissioner Dersham mentioned the record grant amounts we received over the last few years. We very much appreciate Jim, the board, staff in receiving those grants, deploying those grants, and obviously like to thank the state legislators for awarding the grants to Center County. And then did want to also mention that the Conservation District plays a very important role in continuing to conserve our Class 1 trout streams in Center County. Not a lot of places that have a city the size of State College also have Class 1 trout streams running within a couple of miles of the border. So, as Commissioner Dersham said, hugely important issues. Basically benefits our quality of life throughout the county. Unless there's anything else, I think we could take a motion to adopt the proclamation.
I'll move to adopt Proclamation 21 of 2024, proclaiming April 28th to May 4th as Conservation District Week in Center County.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to adopt proclamation number 21 of 2024, proclaiming April 28th through May 4th as Conservation District Week in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, well, why doesn't this strong team come up and we'll present the proclamation and take some photos?
Don't be shy, Seth.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Julie.
Yes.
Come on up, Kevin. Sir, thank you.
Get everybody. I've got to go.
Oh, that's right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Sure. See you, Ross.
All right, now another important aspect of Center County's 52 different departments. is proclamation number 22 of 2024, proclaiming the upcoming week of May 5th to the 11th as Corrections Employee Week in Center County. It's our largest department by employee count and kind of ties for our largest in terms of the financial impact on the county's budget. And we'll hand it over to Glenn, our warden.
Good morning, everybody. Hard act to follow Jim and his
Yes.
crew, so I didn't prepare anything. I just want to thank the commissioners for the recognition for next week, for all the staff at the correctional facility. I like to think we have one of the toughest jobs in Center County. We're one of the few departments that's 24/7, 365 days a year. We're not dealing with happy consumers usually. So, we have staff from officers to counselors, mental health counselors, drug and alcohol counselors. We're proud to say that we do our own food service in-house, which a lot of counties no longer do anymore. But we have our own maintenance staff on board, medical. So we're basically a self-sufficient city. And in today's society, unfortunately, we deal with a lot of mental health issues and corrections because there's really a limited space to put mental health patients. So quite often they end up at the correctional facility, which is a whole different environment than what officers are used to dealing with. Next year, we'll be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the new correctional facility, which opened in 2005. We haven't made any big plans yet for next year, but I'm sure we'll do something special. But just wanted to thank you for all the recognition and the support that you offer our staff on a daily basis, not only as commissioners, but also as members of the prison board. Sometimes the job can be very stressful and trying, but we always put the happy face on and move through it and make it work. And speaking for our facility, we try to be proactive instead of reactive. Some cases you have to be reactive, but
Yeah.
Our facility offers a very wide variety of programming to help the reentry program, which helps our recidivism rate. Our facility holds 397 individuals. Right now, Center County residents are running, I think we had 106 yesterday, and we had 72, I believe, from tenant counties yesterday. 2 months ago, for a few days, we had more tenant county inmates than we had Center County residents. So
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes for the programs that we offer at the facility. Obviously, individuals have to want to partake in those programs and put the knowledge to use when they leave us. Some do, some don't, but we're hopeful more do, and we can keep our numbers down. So I wanted to introduce Deputy Mike Woods is with us today, Deputy of Operations, and recognize Deputy Menarchek. She's not with us today. She's not feeling too well. So other than that, thank you very much, and it is appreciated. And next week, I believe Thursday is Chicken Day. I'll send you all menus. So you
Please,
have
yes.
have the week. We'll be doing meals all week for staff on all 3 shifts, and staff are pretty excited about it. They look forward to the chicken every year. People were bummed when Chris
Yeah.
left. They thought, oh, no more chicken, but Captain Billet has picked up the
Yeah.
the ball and ran with it. And
Good.
Yeah, and he
it's-
does a fine job.
yeah, he does. He's very good on the grill, and he loves that. So, but that's all I have, sir.
I'll turn over to Commissioner Concepcion for comment.
Yeah, thanks for coming and talking about the work that you're doing there in the facility. I think the employees we have there at the correctional facility are meeting people on some of their worst days in their lives and dealing with some pretty complex situations in terms of people's past traumas and, mental health concerns, potentially drug and alcohol concerns, and trying to get them to a point where by the time they leave us that they're ready to be on a better track, and creating some support systems as well for them as they leave the facility. So I think, it's a hard vocation, I think, to be in, but
Yeah.
I think you all really are trying to do the best work that you can for people who are, really in a pretty tough situation in their lives usually, and get them onto a better track. So thank you for all you do, and I know it's a tough job for the corrections officers who are there day in and day out,
Yeah.
but they have a lot of dedication. So, thank you.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Well, I think it goes without saying the professionalism that you folks display and the leadership that not only you two but also Deputy Menarchek has displayed. that leadership is important. And as Commissioner Concepcion indicated, it's a tough job. And it's not one where you're always dealing with a clientele that appreciates your guidance and the programs that you've implemented, and the programs that continually evolve. I think are part of what makes our facility so highly functional, and why, years ago when they were talking about what the numbers would look like for our facility, it was built to house hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And the fact that you have literally 107, 106 county folks, in county inmates, that's a huge testament to the quality of not only our correctional facility, but the criminal justice system, and the way that they deal with issues, and making sure they appropriately punish people who are offenders in the community. But that all being said, you do it with utmost professionalism, and we really appreciate what you do. Send to everybody back in the facility our thanks, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week when we can do it personally.
Thank you.
And Glenn, I just would like to point out how unique the Center County Correctional Facility is, because every other medium-sized county in the state also has a correctional facility that'll hold 300, 400, 450 citizens. They're all full. In fact, some of our 10 inmates come from these other counties. In Center County, as Commissioner Dershowitz and yourself mentioned, we have about 106 citizens right now. That's an over 50% reduction to the number of citizens we had in the facility 12 years ago. And in that time frame, our population has gone up. So would very definitely like to thank your staff. I'd like to thank all county staff. Not all county staff work 24/7, 365, but a lot of county jobs, our employees encounter people on one of their worst days of their lives. And also would like to stress that corrections officers and the rest of your staff spend a lot of time counseling the citizens, working with them, encouraging them, and we actually do receive compliments on our food service, which I know is not the norm in your field.
Yeah, not normally.
So-
Some of our tenant county inmates will often tell us, "Can we stay here longer? Your food's much better." So-
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we have great staff even in that department. So again, would like to thank all county staff, and today especially corrections employee staff here at Center County. Yes,
I also
Steve.
want to mention one other thing. I don't think enough folks understand and appreciate a key component of our correctional facility is the central booking area, which is basically a cooperative arrangement we have with local police departments to provide them an efficient and fast way of delivering folks to arraignment and to our facility without keeping them back out on the street and getting them back out in the street quickly. And that's been a success over the last number of years, and continues to be a key important role to a rural county like ours that has so many roads to cover from the state police. Lots of times they only have two troopers out on the road on a weekend, and to get those folks back out on the street quickly is important. And your organization administers all those programs through central booking, and it's really been, I think, a marked success. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, the booking center has been modeled, not so much anymore because most places have theirs up and running now, but for years people would often call and ask for guidance with help how to set theirs up, because Center County's operates flawlessly. So it's definitely a great system, good working relationship with all the law enforcement agencies in Center County. They're appreciative of that ability, and we always work through any issues we have and help them out the best we can. We get invited to the police chief's meeting monthly so we can talk about any problems, and it's a very good working relationship, not only with the police agencies but also with the courts. Speaking to some other wardens around the state, when we talk about things, I have a conversation with the president judge, they're like, "You can call the president judge?" I'm like, "Yeah, we have. That's how it is in Center County. We need to pick up the phone and call somebody. We do." And so we're very thankful for everybody that we do work with the court system, probation, the sheriff's office, and we try to make it all come together and work seamlessly most days.
Yeah, thank you for your comments on that, Commissioner Dershowitz. Yeah, the Central Booking Center saves the local municipal police forces a lot of time, bother, and money. And of course, it puts our very, very limited state police back out in the field very quickly. Again, as you mentioned, Glenn, it's a team effort. In criminal justice, corrections is a big part of the team, but there's many other team members within county government and outside of county government as well. So very much appreciate everyone's efforts. Again, average county our size has a minimum of 300 people in their correctional facility, oftentimes more like 400 or 450. We have 106. And the median stay is, I believe, 60 days.
Yeah, it was around 60 days when we ran
Yeah.
the numbers a couple months ago.
Yeah. So, thanks again for the great job. Unless there's anything else, we can
Mike,
make a
anything?
motion. No? Okay. All right.
Then I will move to adopt Proclamation 22 of 2024, proclaiming May 5th through 11th, 2024 as Corrections Employee Week in Center County.
I will second that.
We have motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting proclamation number 22, proclaiming May 5th through 11th as Corrections Employee Week in Center County, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. There shouldn't be any nays. Motion carries.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
come on up. Let's present the proclamation. Went over a little bit, centered it on Bellefonte there. Center of the state, almost the center of the county. All right, thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
As always. Thank you, sir. We'll see you next week, if not before.
Okey-dokey. Look forward to it.
All right, now we will move on to bids and proposals, and I believe John has a bid for some of our local small businesses.
Yes, so before you for consideration is tree trimming services at various county-operated facilities, in particular relative to 911 communications towers. We have trees that are growing in amongst the guide wires, fencing in the buildings, etc. So we need to get that trimmed back. We are hoping to go live today with the advertisement. There would be a mandatory pre-bid on May 8th. Questions on the proposals would be due by May 10th. Responses would be provided by the county by May 14th. And then final submissions would have to be received here at the county by May 22nd at 3 p.m. And there would be a bid opening immediately following via Zoom. So before you, we are seeking approval for the advertisement for the tree trimming services.
Thanks, John. I believe we'll have something on our website as well, and they can call the office if they, Commissioner's office, if they have any questions.
Yes.
All right. Great, yeah, we'd love to have multiple bids from our local tree trimming services. Any comments, Commissioner Concepcion?
Seems like the kind of expertise we need to bring in from outside. So
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Good to go.
All right.
I will move to approve advertisement of the RFP for Center County tree trimming services at various county-operated facilities.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve advertisement of the request for proposals for the tree trimming services for various county-operated facilities. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, so let's get that bid up, and hopefully we'll get a lot of interest in the tree trimming community. We'll move on to our contracts. John has a capital project for us up at the correctional facility.
Yes, as part of our ongoing preventative maintenance of our various facilities, in particular when it comes to parking and other asphalt areas, we are seeking approval of a contract with B&B Seal Coating to provide crack sealing, seal coating, and line striping at the correctional facility. The contract total is $20,740. We received three qualified quotes, and this was the lowest bidder.
Great, we'd definitely like to thank B&B Seal Coating. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
That's good.
Commissioner Dershowitz? Definitely have to keep up on the preventative maintenance, or you end up spending a lot more money.
I will move to add the contract with B&B Seal Coating to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
A motion is second to add the contract with B&B Seal Coating to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And now we've got Jim coming back up from the Conservation District.
Yes, good morning. I'm here concerning the countywide action plan block grant under the Chesapeake Bay program. For the 2023 grant year, we have $89,731.04 of grant funds that were not allocated. So I'd like to ask the commissioners today to consider reallocating those funds. What we're proposing to do is use those in our pilot year of our conservation landscaping program. This program will result in water quality improvements in Center County waterways and in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, consistent with our countywide action plan goals. By reallocating these 2023 funds into this program, we'll be able to reach our original goal of converting 10 acres of managed turf grass into native grass and pollinator meadows.
On a nice day like today, pollinator meadows sounds like a very good idea.
Yes.
Commissioner Concepcion, any comments or questions?
Yeah, this seems like a great use of these funds, given we really are better understanding now the impact of all the maintenance that goes into turf grass and what are some really better options.
Yep.
So do you have a location already selected for this project?
We
or-
do have a site. We're working with a property in Haines Township along Pine Creek.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
So
yeah.
since it's right along the creek, it'll have a pretty direct impact.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is great. I think it might be helpful, like, once you've got this underway, maybe we could see some photos, or I think
Absolutely.
the public would be interested in seeing kind of
Sure.
like understanding the process of how you did it, and then the results would be really
And we had
interesting
planned to
see.
do this at a smaller scale this year anyway, but with these additional funds, it'll allow us to expand on that. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Awesome. I think there's a lot of public interest in native plants and
Yes.
learning how to create these spaces in your own yards and everything too. So thanks for your work on this.
Sure.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
I'm good. No, it sounds like a great program.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous out there in Haines Township along Pine Creek this time of the year.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. All right, unless there's anything else, I think we could take a motion.
I will move to approve the reallocation of funds for Center County's pilot year of the Conservation Landscaping Program.
Second.
We have motion and a second to approve the reallocation of funds in the Center County's pilot year of the Conservation Landscaping Program. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to an item for the district attorney. I believe Denise Rupert is here to talk about our stop grant application.
Yes, I am. Hi.
Hi.
All right. I'm going to start with a little bit of history so you know who we are. In the early 1990s, Center County got together, the district attorneys, the state college police, and what was then the Women's Resource Center got together and set up a task force comprised of all kinds of agencies to address the issue of violence against women. In the late 1990s, we started our first STOP grant. We received our first STOP grant, and we have gotten a STOP grant since. These provide funds for law enforcement, they provide funds for victim services, and for prosecution. In 2023, the sexual assault detective that is covered under this grant covered 98 cases, which is the largest caseload for that district, for that area. Additionally, we served 69 sexual assault victims, 248 domestic violence victims, 10 stalking victims. That gives us a total of 327 victims that were served in 2023. Additionally, there were secondary victims. We had 14 sexual assault secondary victims and 18 domestic violence secondary victims, and that gives us 32 victims. Now, of those cases, we had 134 of them go through the prosecution process and 93 convictions. We have member agencies, members, we have members with us from not only the STOP grant partners of the District Attorney's Office, Center Safe, and the State College Sexual Assault Detective, but we also have law enforcement organizations that represent with us: Bellefonte Police, Center County Sheriffs, Ferguson Township Police, Patton Township Police, Penn State Police, Spring Township Police, State College Police Domestic Violence Detective, and the State College Police Social Worker. We have other community organizations and government agencies that work with us: Children and Youth, Center County Children and Youth, Center County Youth Service Bureau, the Center for Community Resources, which is the crisis line, Center Lifelink. We meet there every Friday or every month. Children's Advocacy Center, Crossroads Counseling, Foxdale Village, Mid-Penn Legal Services, Mid-State Literary Council, Mount Nittany Medical Center, and of course we have Penn State. We have at least the Counseling and Psychological Services, the Office of Gender Equity, and the Office of Sexual Misconduct and Response. I may have missed the Penn State office though, there's so many of them. And we're not just standing on our laurels, we keep up with what the current trends are. Right now, we are working on updating our protocols, because our protocols for sexual assault, domestic violence, and stalking haven't been updated since 2016, 2017. We are finalizing the sexual assault and domestic violence, and then we're going to go on to the stalking one. In addition, we're looking at new services. What do we got? Human trafficking, big topic. We are working on, that is one of the goals of the task force, is to get a protocol set up with the assistance of the state on how do we handle human trafficking, because that is, whether we believe it or not, that is an issue here in Center County, and it's a growing issue. We also looking at communities that we didn't have when we started this committee in 1990s. We're looking at the transsexuals. You know, how do we, in fact, on next Friday at our meeting, we are having Center LGBTQ come and address the different issues that we have with serving special victims, such as the LGBTQ community and transgender humans. I think that is it.
All right.
Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you for the presentation, Denise, and I believe the grant total is going to be $400,000, and it's split over the upcoming 3-year period.
Right, and it'll be renewed we have to submit a new budget every year, so that, yeah, it's, yeah.
All right. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
I guess I don't have any questions, but it's good to hear about all these agencies working together on something that's.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
And we sit, and that was the one point I did want to bring. Well, a lot of organizations after COVID have gone to a virtual or a hybrid organization meeting system. We have made the choice in the last 12 months that we are in person on Fridays, the second Friday of every month, meeting in person. And what it's doing is not only are we looking at, but then we're having these cross conversations, we're talking about things, and we're looking at things from different angles, you know. You got somebody coming in, we've got Foxdale, we have a representative that was coming from Foxdale. Older adults have different violence, you know, issues, you know. And we're seeing this a lot with the mental health challenges, and so we've got a lot of new people, and it's really great to see that interaction, that this play of camaraderie-ship, and what makes Center County, that we all work together and we want to stop these violent crimes.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
You brought up the subject of human trafficking. Is there anything that we should know or the public should know about that subject that would be helpful or information?
Yes, but I can't, I'm a grant administrator. What the state is doing is they're having talks. I am coordinating we're getting speakers. We went last month, there was over 1,000 people on a conference call on a state grant on human trafficking. I think at 1,000 they had to flip us off and go to YouTube. So there were 1,000 on the Zoom and then more on the YouTube. And they took that conversation, and in fact, they're continuing that conversation next week, next Wednesday. And this is a different grant out of Wayne and Pike County that we're allowed to listen to the information. Let's prosper. And so they're having a continuation of that policy. We're just starting to learn what we don't know in human trafficking. And fortunately, the state is making a very concerted effort to help us with that. But as always, Center County is one of the 4 leaders in the STOP grant and making sure that we're keeping our families safe.
I would just appreciate, as you learn more information, if you can keep us up to date, or your organization can keep us
Okay.
up to date with
I will have that
what's
on-
going on and what we can do to actually make a difference in that regard.
And maybe like warning signs, how do you
Yeah.
recognize it?
Yeah.
And that's exactly, yes.
Because we have a very vibrant children and youth services organization here. We have local law enforcement. We have the mental MHID program. There's so many things that we get tentacled into. Plus, not to mention our correction facility. So I think we should be probably at the forefront, the vanguard of what's going on, so we can control that as best we can in our community, because we are the intersection of so many different highways.
We really are, and one of the big issues that comes in is anytime there's an event at the Bryce Jordan or the stadium. And this is me hearing, like listening to conversations, I don't have documentation or I don't have proof, but that people are coming in from New York and out of state and bringing trafficking women into the
Whatever we can do to help. That's
All right.
What I think we'd be interested in.
Here in Center County, it's a great place. We like to think every place is a great place, but we have 2 interstates here in the county, as Commissioner Dersham was alluding to, and we know that there are human traffic victims coming through the county, even if it's just on the interstate, every single day.
every single day.
And
And
if
we're
we can
right on the way
provide-
to New York.
If we can provide support services for any of those folks and some respite for them, that would be very
Okay.
helpful.
Great. Thank you very much. Unless there's anything else, I think we could take a motion.
I will move to approve the STOP grant application through PCCD.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the STOP grant application through PCCD. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose nay. Motion carries. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Now we'll move on to Information Technology Services. Oh, there's Chad popping in from the hallway.
Good morning. I have 2 contracts today for consideration. The first one is with Momentum ECM LLC, and this is an add-on to our Laserfiche document management system. This will have the public portal portion of it, so it will allow citizens and whoever to go on and view the documents that we choose to share. So some of the ones that we have been digitizing, some of the historic documents, will be available to public with this license. So this is like I said, add on to our regular Laserfiche contract. It is $2,409.75, and it's run from May 9th, 2024 to January 25th, 2025, and then it'll co-term with the main Laserfiche agreement.
Great. Thanks, Chad. And why don't you cover the next one, too? We'll
Oh,
take
sure.
a motion for both.
And so the next one is a consider approval for what is called a local government entities consent agreement. It is with Commonwealth of Pennsylvania through PEMA. And so this agreement is in part of the state and local cybersecurity grant program. So this year that grant program is offering 4 different projects. On here, the agreement will have us for 3 of those projects, and those projects are the Albert Sensor, which is an intrusion detection service, the CoFence product, which is a security awareness service. We've had both of those in place for probably 4 or 5 years here at Center County. And then the 4th one, which would be a new one, which is a security information and event management solution through a company called Splunk. What this does is this kind of helps aggregates all of the security tools that you use, so you're able to view them and interact with them in a single dashboard. And then the one project that is not on here is a vulnerability management solution. I didn't have it on here because we've had that solution in place for about 3 years here at Center County. And if you already have it in place, you can't take part in it through this agreement.
Great. Well, thanks, Chad, for presenting ways to further harden our network and make it more difficult for the bad people to get in, and also increasing transparency with the public being able to see some of our scanned documents. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions? Commissioner Dershowitz?
You indicated that we already provide one level of security that's covered by this program. So when I guess the obvious question is, when our contract is our obligations are met, can we tag team back into this, or are we
At
shut
this
out?
time, it's kind of stated if it's already been a part of your budget item, that you're not able to participate through this program.
Doesn't seem exactly fair to me. Just saying.
So I'll certainly revisit next year, because
Yeah,
like I said, it's been
I
a
think we
solution
need
we've
to have
had
that
for a few
conversation
years.
Because, you know, if everybody else is receiving that service through this program, I think it's only fair that we do as well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right, we'll take a motion then.
I'll move to add the Information Technology Services items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the 2 items for information technology services to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay, motion carries. Great, thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chad.
All right, and now Julia will cover several human service items.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have 2 drug and alcohol contracts. The first is asking for approval of a contract with Liberté Family House to provide drug and alcohol services, which include low and high intensity residential services, case management, and MAT. An example of low intensity would be a halfway house, and high would be traditional rehab, like a rehab. The interesting thing about this family house is that it takes pregnant and women with children. So this is a nice complement to the services that we, or the places that we already contract with for this service.
So you can avoid separation in that sense.
Correct.
Good.
Correct. And then additional programming. The second is with Clearbrook Treatment Centers, otherwise known as Huntington Creek Recovery Center, to provide drug and alcohol services, which will include low and high intensity residential services, case management, and MAT. The value with this facility is they're able to take adolescents, both males and females, as well as adults. So we're trying to expand our complement of places we contract with to send individuals who are needing these kinds of services.
Great. Well, we'd like to thank Drug and Alcohol for being proactive and covering groups that are sometimes difficult to place. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
So is the contract amount of $5,000, is that essentially sort of a placeholder for?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Then I'll move to add the MHID EI DNA items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the MHID EI drug and alcohol items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
All right. And now we have Nicholas Biling from Representative Paul Takak's office with a CNET sponsorship request.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank the commissioners for adding this item to the agenda, and also for the great work of CNET, as seen right here. So our office is hosting a scam seminar at CenterCare. We see a lot of scams happen, throughout the state and throughout the county. It affects senior populations to a large degree. CenterCare approached us about doing a senior fair, so we thought it would be a good idea to also tag on a scam seminar portion. We're partnering with actually the DA's office, the Office of Aging, the Attorney General's office, I believe Banking and Securities, AARP, and actually SCLO Library to have a panel of experts to talk about each types of scams that affect different segments of the population. And SCLO actually brought it up to us that we could possibly have CNET attend and film this. We just think it'd be a really good resource for the community to refer to and maybe be shown at future events, or just a resource for the community to understand, like how to avoid certain types of scams in the future. And it'll be a free event to attend. The senior fair portion starts from 10 and ends at 6, but CNET would just be attending and filming the scam seminar portion. So I appreciate the consideration, and I hope this is approved.
Great. Well, thanks, Nicholas. Thanks for presenting this. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
Yeah, I think this is a really good idea so that folks who aren't able to make it to the event
Yeah.
can view it later. And we know this is just something that's always evolving and keeping up with the innovations of people who, are really out to, rob people potentially of tens of thousands of dollars in these scams. And they keep getting more creative and using AI and new technologies to swindle people. It's really a concerning issue, so glad you're doing this.
Thanks. We see issues like this all the time. We've had people call our office about the recent Easy Pass scam that was happening. People get a text to their phone telling them that their Easy Pass was depleted and that they had to send money to this link. And then we've had people, call our office that have been, had their identity stolen from them, and someone withdrew thousands of dollars out of a bank in Baltimore. Like we've heard a lot of different things. So we think it's an issue across the state and the county. So.
Right. Commissioner Dershowitz, any comments or questions?
You go to our aging office and they have an entire rack of scam information, and this is a target population that they're going after. And I think it's also important that it's not just, this is just not for seniors. It can be for the folks, caregivers or folks, and responsible individuals, for them that maybe can head off some of this by a little bit of education and explanation that sometimes things are not as they appear on the internet. I know we find that hard to believe at times, but it's really frightening between the telephone communication, the internet communication, and sometimes in-person communication that's used. And this is the same exploitation that's often used with the other vulnerable populations in our community. And I think it's important that we educate people as best we can that this is out there. And to we were sitting in a meeting yesterday, and I got a very realistic text message that I thought, oh, this maybe is right. And then I looked at it, I'm like, no, it's not. But for somebody who maybe is maybe not quite on their game that day, they can fall for it. And not only is it a financial implication, but also you can breach a lot of personal data that would be unfortunate. And a lot of folks are not as suspicious as maybe some of us are, and we need to be reminded that these threats are out there. So
Sometimes they're using scare tactics.
Oh yeah,
They're just trying to
there's-
terrify you into thinking that
Your grandson is being
Yes.
held in a
Right.
jail somewhere, and if you don't send $10,000, you'll never see him again.
Right.
It's like, well, there's a lot of there's a lot of deception out there that we have to be aware of.
And there's also people who say the sheriff is asking me to call. Well, the sheriff doesn't need to raise funds. We cover his budget.
Our sheriff is a victim of scams all the time.
Yes.
He gets drug into it. So yeah. All right. So thank you for your work, and thanks. Give our thanks to CenterCare for their hosting this. So I think it's a great program.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd definitely like to thank you and CenterCare and Representative Takak and all of the, I'm sure you have some other stakeholders there talking about it as well. Hopefully 2 hours will let you cover it, but a lot of fraud out there, a lot of people targeting seniors and other vulnerable populations.
I agree. And you're all welcome to attend if you're available. So
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Looks like we could take a motion then.
I'll move to approve the CNET sponsorship for the Senior Fair Scam Seminar.
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CNET sponsorship for the Senior Fair Scam Seminar. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks again, Nick.
yeah,
Appreciate
thanks so
it.
much.
Appreciate it.
All right. We have a very short consent agenda.
I'll move to approve this week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And we have, I believe, a very large check run today.
Yeah, so the check I'd like to highlight from our check run today is for Housing Transitions as part of the Emergency Solutions Grant. They're one of our partners providing emergency shelter services. We have a check run involved with that in the check run today. And Housing Transitions is actually celebrating their 40th anniversary working in this community in May. So with that, I'd like to approve the check run dated April 26, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the check run dated April 26. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And John, our administrator, has a first quarter report involving resolution number 2.
As you know, the Board of Commissioners passed Resolution 2 of 2024, which allows the county administrator to execute any financial documents not to exceed $30,000, and only in those circumstances where the funding for such has been approved and allocated within the budget or a previously approved in a public session. Furthermore, Resolution 2 authorizes the county administrator to execute any and all documents related to grants after initial resolution authorization by the board to apply for such grants has taken place. Overall, there were 36 such authorizations performed during the first quarter of '24, with individual monetary values ranging from no cost to $28,000. Of the 36 authorizations, 7 were software tech related or renewals, valued at $109,610.36. 4 items were preventative maintenance or testing related for a total cost of $31,438.60. 6 items involved human services linkage or service agreements that have total costs of $250. The remainder included items such as legal services, lawn maintenance, snow removal, insurance policy renewals, rental costs, and waste and paper shredding services totaling $49,220. The grand total of all expenditures authorized by the administrator in quarter 1 of 2024 was $190,518.96.
Great, thanks for the thorough report, John. Any questions from either commissioner? All right, we'll move on now to reports and announcements. Do we have a voters
Not yet.
registration?
Once we get past the certification of the election, then we'll
All right.
go back to having those weekly.
Okay, no other announcements. John, do we have any executive sessions to report or to hold?
No executive sessions to hold. However, the board met in 2 executive sessions yesterday, April 29th. The first one was from 9:04 a.m. to 10:26 a.m. to discuss a real estate matter, and the second one yesterday was held from 1:03 p.m. to 1:55 p.m. to discuss personnel matters.
Great. Thank you, John. The remainder of our public meeting schedule, Tuesday, today, Board of Elections at 4. Thursday, May 2nd, we have Salary Board and Board of Commissioners combined at 10 a.m. Monday, May 6th, we have the Board of Elections at 3. And then Tuesday, May 7th, we have the Board of Commissioners at 10, the Board of Commissioners work session at 11, and the Board of Elections at 3. Now we will take questions from the press at this point. No? Okay. Unless there's anything else we go to the order, we can take an order to adjourn at, 10:53 by the time we get through with
Okay,
that.
so moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion, a second, to adjourn at 10:53. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.